Why does Twitch tell me I can subscribe to earn drops? This is my chat. Why would I need drops? I don't get it. Ooh. Well, good morning. Good morning. Let's look at cows just for a little while. Just for a little while. Why did I have that video? No. Yeah. Let's just look at them for a little while. Glorious 4K. So, we got quite a bit last stream. We got quite a bit done. And I think I have disabled the server. Hang on. Stop this one. And I want to... What? Okay. And then we're going to start this one. Boot. And stop. Okay. Let's see what the latest state was. Delete that, copy that, put it in here. So we got a bunch of things done last time, but I think we're still not quite getting expressions in here, right? Because it feels like there's stuff missing. No, this is fine. But maybe I'm just not realizing how few expressions there really are. That might also be the case. Just kind of feels off. So the two things we can do definitely is one, we can compile these into to a list like this matching function. So one thing we can do. And then eventually we have to go to incremental compiles for the templates. I still like that there's like barely 2,000 fragments in the whole thing. I mean, the templates aren't that complex, so that might grow. It's still not that much. Whole file's like 5K lines. That's like nothing. A CPU can eat that for breakfast. Definitely. Why do I have two of these up? Let's close one and just be sure we have the latest. That is still weird. I don't think it will break though. Just a slight incongruence. Maybe just don't have that many. Let's look at what we can do for these. Because I have a lot of, I think most of these actually just take this var. And do I need a scope for that? Yes, I kind of don't think so. Like, what's this one? It's probably related to this here. You just input one thing. I think this is also wrong. That shouldn't be a fragment. Yeah, but let's do the matcher first. So we are going to have what are we matching? We're matching prereqs. Like this one. And we want to do a reverse match that whenever we change this file, we can then find the fragment that we need to update, which would be this fragment, which has this path. We can pull the UID from here by matching on it. And I think we can copy some code from the thing where we wait, where we do the thing. The thing where we do the thing. That should be cache app PHP, pocket recipes. Still don't know why this is two functions, but whatever. Because somewhere down here we have a matcher Rx. This one. I think. Okay, we kind of need all of this. So we would need a regex array that matches this with this number. Okay, so let's do that. And then we want to be here. And down here we want to do kind of the same thing. We just don't have regexes yet. Oh, then we could probably also pull out, that's the same file, isn't it? Yeah, it's the same file. It's just down here. So where do we collect the regexes? Oh, we have a function for that. That's fine. So you go here, And then for each of the prerequisites, this one, we would take the last one. So let's do P target is this. Now I put that in here. And we eventually do this down here. This is regex, and the ID is the scope ID. Yeah. ID is the scope ID. And then we need the same thing down here, but just with the value. This one is not target, but p-target. You have this, you have this. Somebody's awake. We have regexes, and what do they do? What do we call this here? This is called matcher. So we do this here as well. We have a matching function. And I guess we can indent it a little more nicely. So do this. That will give us all the regexes. And then we need after that, wait, is this in a loop? Yeah, that's not good. Need to pull this out. And then we want to do just this bottom part. And then we have this part. And then we will close that. And then we're going to do the same thing for metro RX. But that will just be in there. Right. That should give us all of this. Kind of. Let's see. Let's see if we even get regexes. I once again see functions that I can probably just delete. Stop, restart. No. I think I didn't close something here. Mm, mm. Yeah, it's a syntax error. I did a mess up. This is fine, this is fine. Oh, this one, okay. Well, that was easy. Regexes. Do we get regexes? Yes. Nice. Do we even need to sort them? I don't think so. I think we literally just iterate over all of them, right? Because this matcher wants to return a single one. We kind of don't need that, I think. We don't even need to sort them. Do we? Do I have... Oh, I think I know what we do need to do here. Because we might have multiple entries for one. Yeah, that's the problem. So for the regexes, this will be an array, and that's only if this key if this doesn't exist, exist with this, otherwise we do this, and then we need to do the same thing down here. Yeah. So that also tells us that we kind of don't need to sort this, I think. Let's try again. Do we have multiple hits now? Yes. See? We do. So that's good. So it's the other way around. I think we do need a collected hit. Because the source file can only ever hit one of these. So that's fine. Why do we have index? Huh. That feels wrong. Why are you index sometimes? Let's do either here or here. Why is the regex value index? Why is that index? That's not a prerequisite. Okay, so the scope is, oh, okay. That's the default, isn't it? That's the default. Well, wait, wouldn't that turn into get cache value? Yeah, that's nonsense. This is all nonsense. It doesn't have this, and only if it only if it's a protocol do we need that. Do we get a metron RX is what I want to know next. Oh yeah, this is wrong. That wouldn't work. Is that once this here, which is kind of unnecessary. Because you might just as well. So here we have the 81. Wait, where am I using that? What am I putting out there? Because we could just use the index of the metron array. Ugh. I guess it works here. We'll do something dumb for now. And it'll be like underscores or something. I can at least pull it apart later on. Because I still do want to have a 1 meter. I think. So we can extract that one thing. And it'll give us don't know. Do not know. So we should have some of these should have an underscore. Yeah, that's a bunch of them now. Which is kind of useless. But anyhow, we would get this back and get a bunch of numbers. So that's fine. It's fine. I wonder if we want to do actual fragments now. So let's put this into a file and see whether the file is good. Have you done a file? Do you have a target? You have a target. Why isn't that in cache? Wait. Didn't I copy this one? No, this is wrong. It was wrong. We need to do this here. Going to do this again. Just to blank out and just to do this here. It's bad. Don't know why it does that. Shouldn't have a file here. Yes. Okay, so we can get rid of this. We can put this in here. And we almost have fragments, I guess. Oh, this one is wrong. Hang on. I did not escape the vase correctly. And the vase is what? Oh yeah, this is wrong. No, wait. Wait, how did I do this before? No, I wanted for this file. Maybe I didn't have that before. Because the thing is correct. Yeah, so let's do this here. And down here for the vase. Let me just do this. And we can redo it. Okay, we're almost done here. Ooh. Oh god, Okay, this is also wrong. Because in here, this is not fine. So this is not a recipe ID. This is scope IDs. And then we want scope IDs to be an array. Like this. Right, since it's IDs, it's fine. And that should work. No. This one. Yeah, and this should be fine though. This keeps happening. It's still quite annoying. But we won't be deterred. I think it's time for one round of Zectronics actually. One round. Just one. And let's see what we get. Ooh, look here. 2, 0. But 1 is here. And the 17 is buried. I could get this though. Oh, this one is obvious. So that's fine. Can almost do this stack. So maybe we have to burn through this one here. For that though, we would have to get the 11 out. We can't land the king, queen, jack somewhere. Although maybe the king here. All these on there, 10 on here, 2 pops. Where do we put the king stack though? Could put it on here. So this is like mutually going places. I think I want to do that first. Wait, but where do we land that? 8, 9, 10, jack. Queen is here. The 7 is here. It's kind of rough. You have 13 through 16 though. Just can't quite connect it. The 12 is also buried. So I think I want to do this one first. So I'm wondering whether I need to put this stack in the hole. Put king, queen, jack on the 10. Which should give us 11. And we have 9 here. And then we can put 10, 9 on the 11. 2 pops. We don't have the freedom to do this one here. And that's bad. So we do want to put this on this here. Maybe we need to do that first. Just that we're stuck on this 10, but we might get there eventually. So we put 2 down, 2 up, 16 on the 15, jack on the 10, can't land this though. Although eventually we could stack all of this on the 5. Could put 15 here, 14 here, 13 here. 10 down, 2 goes up. No. Okay, king on queen. This stack on the 8. 10 on the 9. 2 pops. Jack can go here. That kind of works. That's a little better. Now I need to decide how to get into this stack here. I think we want the 0 first, right? Oh, I can also get the 3. But we don't have the 4 for a while. We need the 0 to clear this 1. Still wouldn't have the 17 though. That feels salvageable. Is there anything else we can do? 7 is not helpful. Still need the yellow queen for that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go 0 first. And also put them here. Maybe. Yeah, because you can do this, get the 6 out, put this on here, and then we have the 3. Do we now make this move? We could put this down. King, queen on the jack. 18 off, 7 here. 6 down, 1 pops. Could also put both of these down, I guess. Which direction do we want this? I think we want... Oh, we could also stack these on the 9. Yeah, I think that's correct. It just feels dicey because you have to do this move. You can also stack this on the queen. this down. Line up. All this on the queen. Put king, queen, jack in the hole. Flip this over here. Put the 9 down. And he has stacked all of these on there. This is off. 18 can go on 19. 7 can go on 6. 6 could go up. We're kind of screwed, right? Eventually we can also move this this queen through 8 on the king. Just that we're not there yet. So maybe we need to make incremental moves for now. Okay, so let's do this. Let's put this down. Put these over here. And then we need the 18 to go here now. Or do we ignore this for now? Could also put the 18 here. I think we need this inverted. Could put this down. This on here and then this on here. That feels correct. Although no, I think that's wrong. I think we need to yield all this stack, get all this on the queen. Kind of. So you put this down, 9 up, jack through 9, through 8 on the queen. We have a 9 up, we have this slot free. Then we could put this down. But then we have this inverted, right? Ooh. We could also, wait. We can do another thing. We can put this down. 11 on the 9, 4 on the 3. Yeah, this is better. This is clearly better. I could do this. And then this, and then this. And then put this on here. Now we have this. Okay, this one here. I think this was the move. The crucial move. We can put this on here. And I think we can burn through this now. Yeah. Phew. That was rough. That was rough. This, I guess. Put this over here. Get this down. Connect these. can put this here. Can put this on there. The Empress. Yeah, isn't that true? True. So we wanted to debug this. We wanted not to go here, we wanted to go here. And then we write this file, and then we open this file. This almost works. Why are you? Oh, you. Right. You should be. In quotes. Single quotes, single quotes. Oh, come on. Right. Redo this. And no, I think we have the matter. Right. Cool. That is cool. Pretty cool. Nice. And we're going to need that eventually, not now. We haven't even gotten to the data writing yet, actually. I still need to do the two-way communication, actually. And that'll be a while. But we should be able to now go into cache template, plugin, no fragment, the render fragment. Did we ever get here? That's the question. Nope. No, we don't. Why not? Why do I have so many scratches? I think I'm going to delete them now. Boop. No error. No error. Is the syntax wrong? Yeah, syntax is wrong. I'm lacking something. Fragrance's scope is not closed, I guess. Yeah, I need to close this first. So in here, then we do one, we can do this, comma, and then this can be also this. This is fine. This should not work. Maybe. Don't know. Don't need this anymore. This is working. Oh, it's loading it now. From where? From get cache. Nice. Nice. Cool. Whoa. This is amazing. Now we can deal with it. We can just deal with it. So all this complexity can now pretty much go, because we just have scopes now, which feels good, man. What fragment do we have? We have a target, and we cannot explode the target. This is the fragment, this is the ID. Nice. And the scope, what would the scope be? Oh, we already have this. We might have scope, we might have vars. Okay. Why scope null? That's wrong. No, it's fine. But this is wrong. Cause because what? I kind of want to delete all of this actually. Yeah. Delete. We don't need it anymore. We don't need to resolve the expressions. And we can now do the following. We can do... Wait, what is the hash? It's not a hash. Right, this is entirely wrong. What we need here is we need to make this proper. Because it's actually type hash scope ID. So this will be scope ID. And this is not a hash, this is a fragment ID. Right, so I need to replace this. Replace this with fragment ID. Place. And then the same thing for you are now this and this. And scope ID is fine, vars is fine, type is fine. Okay. Recompile this, and now we should be getting scope IDs. No. Why not? Var 0. There should be fragment ID. What? Why don't you get that? Let's check the path. It should be this one, right? No, this should be fine. Type fragment ID. Why do you not get this? Let's look into the compiler function again. Amend base and base. Make a PHP, and we want the recipe number 10. And the arc list is wrong. So recipe ID. ID. It's so nice to just have integers there. Okay, so the arc list is wrong. Why is the arc list wrong? What's the... shouldn't I have that as a parameter? Target. That's fine. Prereqs is fine. Let's type hash var0 scope ID. Wait. So that's the rest of... No, this is correct. And they have all these. I don't have the scope ID, but that should be fine. What do we do now? Fragment ID. Matches. 1. And the var matches are var0. Didn't I put this in scope? Wait, what's the... Huh. What's the expression? Shouldn't I have a scope here? No. That should be done up here. I don't have scope yet. Oh, this is still wrong. This should be fragment ID. Right. This should work now. I was just blind. Fragment ID. And you should be an integer, so that's fine. You are an integer, and now we can pull out the fragment. The fragment is fragments, fragment ID. And the fragment ID is 289. Probably just a string, right? Right. That's bad, though. I think I'm the template's right. My brain actually hurts a lot. It hurts quite badly, and I don't need. I'm always telling them, why doesn't anybody ever offer me expensive viewers? They only give me cheap viewers. I don't need them. But yes, this is brain-hurting programming. I'm implementing this, and it's bad. It's bad. The brain reno is hurty. Well, it is and it isn't. Like, the whole reason why I'm doing this is because I don't want recursion, in a way. I want everything to be nice and linear and sequential, but for that I first have to compile away all the recursion. And everything can just be nice and compiled. And the whole point of this entire thing is maybe for something to be sequential by definition. Yeah, kind of. So the thing is, the whole point of this whole thing here is that I have templates like this. This is a compile template. Templates like this one, and usually you would compile them into just code that gets run. So if you want to, I don't know, output a variable here, and that variable is something in this JSON file. So you pull out the data from there. Then you just set a variable and then deal with it. But what I'm doing is I'm splitting up this template into individual fragments, and then so there's this part here where I'm doing this. But for every single fragment in here, and this might be a text fragment like this, I resolve the scope. So I know I have a small fragment that just puts out a title, but I know from the scope hierarchy that is actually something in this file here. And then I can compile every single fragment in parallel if I want to. Usually I just compile them sequentially still, but I just cache them and then concatenate the strings. So the only recursion you might have is trying to the only place where you might have recursion is where you try to figure out what this inheritance hierarchy is here. Well, that's kind of what I'm doing. So the step that I'm working on right now is that I have a list of all of the fragments, which is all these, and they just get executed, and they have scope functions where you pull in the scope. Because what I want to have eventually is, if a user up here updates something in the data, that should just update this single fragment. So I need a dependency chain from this entity all the way into this fragment. So the dependency chain goes, this is the data, it goes into a scope, and that scope has a list of fragments that are kind of listening to this scope. So then, oh, and it also has a path, so then I can tell the browser, where the user is, that this single fragment in this path needs to be updated. So, yeah, and if the user requests something, so if the user gets a finished template, I then concatenate the fragments that are already compiled. Yeah, right. I'm already doing it. Yeah, I'm this is not finished yet, but what I'm doing is I'm pulling apart the scope and the fragment, and I'm building scope functions, and I'm now at the point where I'm trying to render this fragment. And let's see, okay, this is null. We're dying there. But this will eventually step through all the fragments, and if there is scope, it will resolve the scope. And so the other part is that everything has a path. So a fragment has a fragment ID with a scope ID and maybe with input in there. So that means the template is just a list of fragment paths that I can resolve and that I can match on. Because the actual core of all this is that I build a system on top of GNU make. So there's a make file for templates and for fragments. And the make file is like this. So if you've ever seen make syntax, it's kind of like that. It's just that I extended it to have multiple inputs. So the system knows I can make this, and there is a recipe. That is this recipe. And if I match onto this path, then I can just execute this recipe. Yeah, this is basically what I've done. It's just that, so in any regular templating system, any engine like this, what you usually do is you just implement all these things, and I just have kind of an abstraction of that, which is everything is a path that has a recipe. And it's just a function that gets executed with inputs, and the inputs are pulled from this. And there is a huge regex somewhere here. Here. That matches any path that you might want to build. And it just puts that out. So whenever you have in a template, for instance, I don't know, do I have something in here? Like if you want to make this here, I want to put out an SVG. And there is a recipe to build SVG files that are minified from a source file. So everything is just paths and files. It's very simple. And when you want to make something, you just create a path for that. Yeah, I probably started out in a similar way. So I used to have it more like a compiled template. That was like version 2.0. But since then, because I always ran into performance issues, once you get really complicated templates with very many things that might be updated, I started like carving out fragment blocks. And then at some point I decided, well, actually maybe just everything is a fragment. And it's just simpler to deal with everything as a fragment, and just you don't have to make all these little updated blocks in there. So, I mean, I've been building this for about 7 years now. Yeah. And I think I've boiled it down to the bare minimum. Like the whole code base for this is like, I don't know, it's not that much. So the entire core of this is like 4,000 lines, and then I have this larger block. I think it's about 10,000 lines, but actually just the real engine is like 3,000 lines. So the core of this engine is about 7,000 lines of code, and that's all there is. And the rest is just make files and templates. So I'm like 2 orders of magnitude less code than most code bases. And this is my big, my main metric for quality is how little code I can get away with. And after now, I've been building web stuff for like 17 years now, and the only thing that I want is less code. Because anything you do, especially in PHP, it's like, I don't know, like even just Symfony is like 250,000 lines of code, and that's just insane. And then you usually also have like another 250,000 for your own like customer base on top of that, and then you have another 500,000 lines of code to implement all this stuff. And I think it's an expression of solving the wrong problem. Well, the thing with AI is that AI is good in the if like you can make AI write like React code and probably also Symfony code and stuff like that, but the less tokens that the AI has to deal with, the higher the quality is, and all the bad decisions that you made in your architecture, the AI will just run along with it. It'll just deal with it. But if you can decrease the complexity by 2 orders of magnitude, then you basically make the AI 2 orders of magnitude more efficient. Yeah, so it's kind of, that was kind of my point, that you have humans and AIs are kind of the same. We have a context window. And the main problem with web software these days is that everybody just assumes that your context window is basically limitless. And that turns into having to write mountains of boilerplate. And people just say, well, isn't that great? Isn't it great that we now have the AI to build all this boilerplate for us? And for me, boilerplate is just it's a code smell, basically. It's a tell that you have not built your architecture correctly. And I mean, imagine just, I can fit 7,000 lines of code. I could just put it into the query for the AI. You can just, this is the whole framework. And now you can just build something with it. And I'm actually writing a document on how this is supposed to work. And the idea is that maybe I can just one-shot an implementation of it eventually. You know, I think the core of your challenge is, I think I imagine you might make the same mistake that most people make, which is to only look at it from a quantity perspective. And the The problem is that we are now scaling up AIs to deal with basically unlimited quantity, so the scope, the context windows are ever growing. I don't know, Grok can do like 2 million tokens or something recently. But that only solves your quantity issues. And nobody really thinks about the quality issues. What I'm trying to do is solve the quality problem. I mean, I think I'm going to eventually try to also have an LLM look through this. And I mean, if you look at the templating structure, I think it's very easy to train an LLM to deal with this here, because it's just so few. Like the vocabulary that you need for this templating is very small, because everything is just paths. And if you want, like, in here you have a JSON file. The JSON file just gets included and you can put the stuff in there. Yeah, I think so. But for that, I still need to. I mean, this is like, again, this is like 7,000 lines of code now, and I think I can get it down to 5,000 lines of code. And once I'm there, then I can start to like write a spec sheet of what's actually needed, and then I might make an experiment where I try to have an AI one-shot an implementation of this. We will see. Right now I'm trying to figure out why it's putting component. So I have components in here as well. Like the container is a component, the row is a component, the column is a component. But for some reason I'm bleeding scope into this. So I think this was like title or something, the fragment. The fragment is null? Where's the fragment null? Hang on, 289. Oh, yeah, I'm doing it wrong. There should be fragments. Yeah, maybe. So it's it kind of all comes down to information theory or complexity theory. But again, my point would be that the reason why we are not making much progress on the tech space is that people just have the wrong ideas. And they're just not paying attention to quality. And that's all there is to it. Like, yes, if you... It's like Hitchhiker's Guide, you know, the answer is 42, but we haven't figured out the right question yet. We are not really asking all the AI power that we are building the right questions. We have all the answers, we're just not asking the right questions. See? I mean, this is, if you look at the whole of human knowledge as one big token space, which is what AIs do, then it's quite clear that what our issue is right now is figuring out the quality in this sea of quality. But the problem is that quality is hard. That's the main problem. I mean, I've been working on version 3 for about a year now, and I think it will take me another few months until I get this finished. And then I can ask the right questions. Yeah, but how do you know that it actually is self-aware, not just pretending to be self-aware? Which is the same question for humans, actually. because many people are just pretending to be self-aware. Some people are literal NPCs, and they only have an event loop. But that's one of the hardest questions to answer is, how do you know if something is actually conscious? We don't have answers for that yet. Unless you play the witness, basically. Well, yeah. Well, my point is that there might be, all the difference in the world might be between being conscious and being conscious-like, you know? Maybe that is literally the hardest issue. And we might get AIs to be like 99.999% conscious, and it would still not be the same. But yeah, I mean, just consider how many NPCs there are in the world, and how far we got with that many NPCs. Like, I imagine that, like, we have like 70% of people are literal NPCs. Maybe even higher than that. It might be 80%. But you can build a lot from that, actually. I mean, we built a whole civilization out of that. It's actually kind of amazing what we did with that many NPCs. What do you mean? You mean in a literal sense that you are the creator? Well, yeah. Maybe that's well. I mean, this is basic simulation theory, that we are just a product of something like that, right? Or we are all in the simulation right now. Yeah. And we are lucky that it didn't switch it off yet. So that would suck. Oh wait, that was Well, yeah, that would be the only way that something nothing exists, but that's still... I mean, the whole problem is that you still haven't solved the substrate question. What is the actual substrate that this simulation is being run on? And that might be something that we literally cannot know. I'm getting the sense that you might be way lost in the weeds. Huh. Why hexagons, though? It seems like oddly specific in the way that is characteristic of like schizophrenics, basically. Yeah, no, everything depends on this thing, and the thing is hexagons, you know. Like, well, you got me until this point, but I don't know about the hexagon part. It seems like too easy an answer. I'm just saying, you know. Um, it's callable. From the way that you're thinking, I would deduce that you're in your 20s, maybe early 30s. But that feels like a mid-20s view of reality. It kind of reminds me of my view of reality when I was about 20 or 25. At 40, well, welcome to the club then. We're both young in mind then. You really have to be careful, because that does sound like the ramblings of a schizophrenic. Oh, you might be right. It's just that, how could you tell that you're right? You know, this is also why I. If you consider that I've been working on this system for 7 years, then I might also be completely wrong with my whole approach. And yeah. So the only metric that I have is that I can see results, and then I can judge my own code from the size of my code base. And that's the only two lights in the tunnel that keep me going forward. But I get what your struggle is. So the challenge that you have is, how do you even, what's the judgment function? And I have to stop streaming because people in my household have waken up. But you can actually, so one thing that I will tell you is, if you have not played The Witness yet, play The Witness. And do yourself a favor and not look anything up. So, I have a feeling that this game might be way up your alley. Well, it's even 10% off right now. Look. Do not look at any videos for this and just play it. And then come back to me in like a week or so. Because it's amazing. It's one of the best games. And what you can do right now, what we can do right now, is we can rate the creator of The Witness, who also is a programmer and a developer. Yes, it's the best. It's the literally best game there is. There's no question. It's the best game. But John is working on another game right now, and you can check that out as well. And he has a fun stream. He's so cranky. It's amazing. So, see you tomorrow. Maybe. We will raid now. Take care. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow. Right now.
Okay. That's not deprecated. That's not a world context. That's deprecated. V3. so that's correct. Let's double check this. Basically, I'm just making sure levels are in the right place. And placing levels. You know, there's like a little over 20 levels on the spreadsheet that are like, have the status set as, hey, we need to place this or something.